Well, our first guest this morning wrote this book. It's called A Guy's Guide to Love. Some call it the male counterpart to Sex in the City. Author Robert Maddie says he wants to bridge the growing communication gap between men and women.
Yeah, is it just a guy?
I haven't heard that one yet.
Little play on words.
Thank you.
I brought you some Valentine's Day cheer.
Thank you. I love it. Okay, this is a shirt. The Guy's Guide.
For your workouts.
The Guy's Guide to Love.
For our workouts. I like
For
it.
the ladies.
You know, we're on the cusp of the most romantic. Oh, this is awesome.
I love that.
Thank you.
That's very
super cool. Thank
Have
you.
some fun with
We
it.
like
Thanks.
when guests bring us gifts.
We do. We do. Rabbit, we're on the cusp of the most romantic day of the year,
Exactly.
Valentine's Day, and I think guys need a lot of help. So, you know, for you, why did you decide to write this book, and what is A Guy's Guide all about?
Okay. I was inspired to write the book, as you mentioned, because I think even with all the technology we have, the paths of men and women seem to be going further apart in terms of understanding one another, and it's very ironic. And I thought anything I could do to help the cause, to get men to understand women better, basically pay attention to women more, and to have women to understand where guys are coming from would be a positive. So I used the power of story. It is a novel, and it is about something. It's about two men in advertising competing for love, sex, power, and money in New York. So there's a lot of intrigue with it and fast pace, and it's been called kind of a male Sex in the City, but it's really about understanding the opposite sex and really coming together.
Well, one of the things that Max, the main character, identifies is that his friend is, I hope it's okay for me to say, kind of a jerk. I mean, he's kind of that guy that women tell their friends to avoid.
Right. Roger Fox is the character you're referring to, and thank you for mentioning that. He's certainly a womanizer, but he's a womanizer that's interesting. And everybody, the first character people mention with the book is Roger Fox, because I think every guy knows a Roger Fox as a friend, and every woman has dated one. So I really used him to follow the journey into what can happen to a man who's like that, the pitfalls, and also the possibilities of redemption. And I really believe that in the bottom line, that men aren't that bad, and they can redeem themselves if women help them out.
I just wanted to read this one part from the
Please.
book, because Tiffany and I were talking about it, guys. No, this is called The Guide to Avoid, and this is Max writing an article, and his friend Roger kind of identifies himself after reading this article that it's him he's talking about. And it says, we all know him. He's the guy we just can't resist, even if you're a guy, and he's one of your friends. He's a bit taller and better looking. His words flow as naturally as honey from a comb, and everything seems to fall right for him. And I'll bet if you were a guy, you'd want to be just like him and have your way with all those silly girls you know. And so we're drawn to him like moths to a flame, and eventually our wings are singed.
That's right. Well, have either of you ever dated a Roger Fox or a
Never.
guy like this, a guy to avoid?
I might have.
Yeah.
So I've used those columns that Max writes. Those are kind of my point of view, and I embedded them into the novel to give a little guidepost to the reader as to here's what the message really is all about, as well as the entertainment and the story. But, you know, a guy's guy is really an updated version of a man's man, but he's more casual, has some type of casual confidence, and also emotional availability. And the biggest difference between a guy's guy and a man's man is a guy's guy really celebrates the long overdue recognition of women. Women have been achieving for a long time, but only recently have they been recognized. Guys understand that when men and women can be at their best, everybody wins.
I love that you just said that. I think that resonates with so many people, the recognition that you have that it's okay to be a successful woman, or it's okay to celebrate the difference of male and female relationships. Are you a guy's guy at your heart? Were you that guy at some point?
Well, I think I'm more than a Max and a Roger, but every guy has a little bit of a Roger Fox in them, and I always say that the difference between one man and another man is how he manages his inner Roger.
Well, and this is I think this is a great point, because we've talked about guys before that are afraid to be the nice guy because nice guys finish last, and they don't always want to be that guy. So, and some women will even say they want a bad guy.
Yeah, they want a guy to be kind of mean sometimes.
Yeah, and that kind of ruins it for the rest of us, you know, sometimes.
Yeah.
So how does a guy have an edge or spice things up, but not necessarily be the bad guy? And is it okay to not be just the nice guy?
Well, I mean, being a nice guy doesn't mean being a pushover. I think women really want men to be men, and they're really rooting for men to make a comeback. I think nowadays, to me, it's the best time ever to be a man, because the bar has been set so low. I mean, if you want to get a date, it's like, don't wear cargo pants and don't text a picture of your private parts to somebody.
Right.
So that's pretty easy.
You would think.
What about the pressure that some guys feel? We're talking probably guys in a relationship, married guys, to kind of spice things up, especially around Valentine's Day. There's a lot of pressure.
Well, I think, when you talk about Valentine's Day, there's three sets of people. There's singles, and most people out there are singles, and it's a great night to go out because there's groups of gals, groups of guys, and you can meet each other. Everybody's interested because it's a day. It's all about love.
Don't you think it's mostly couples that go out? You think a lot of singles go out on Valentine's Day?
To the singles bars, yes. I've read about this, and they do, and supposedly it's a great night to meet people. So that's number one. Two, if you're a single guy and you're in a new relationship to a woman, the obvious is to gravitate towards buying her lingerie. I say, don't go there. I know guys want the show and they think that's going to flip the switch, but it's not. The woman will let you know when it's time for the show. So personalize the date. Do something that you can do together. Go to a sake tasting. Take her to a show that maybe she mentioned or a restaurant that she wants to go to. And if you're in a long-term relationship, again, personalize it, spice it up, take it to the next level. And if you're going to get jewelry, jewelry, chocolates, and flowers are always in vogue. But if you're going to get your wife or your girlfriend jewelry, personalize it. An inscription, a card that says 20 reasons why you're the one for me. And that usually does the trick. It's about making the day a day of love and about your partner.
You really get it.
Yeah, you do.
Trying.
Yeah.
Well, I got it. I've been gotten.
There's the ring.
You're a married
You've
guy.
been gotten. I think it's wonderful. People can find your book. It really sounds like it's a great anthem out there to men and to women about how to be your best in a relationship as a partner. Your website, robertmanni.com, is where you can find the book, A Guy's Guide.
Really quick, our producer's going to kill me because we're out of time. Really quick, what can ladies do to help guys out?
Yeah.
This is a question you gave us. What do you think ladies can do quickly?
I think very quickly, the number one thing that men want to hear from a woman is that the woman believes in them and that they understand them. Guys need to be understood, particularly nowadays where young guys don't have role models, middle-aged guys aren't adapting. They could end up in Jurassic Park if they're not careful. They really need women's help. So instead of beating them up all the time, I think women need to say, hey, I understand where you're going, I believe in you, and I support you.
I like that. Good.
And that's
good to talk to you.
Look at Dave!
We got
men applauding throughout the audience.
Yes,
Robert.
I think that's fantastic. Nice to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
We need more men like you.
It's all about the love.
Valentine's Day.
And you know what? Guys always finish first.
There we go.
There you go.
Be a man's man.